actually start seated in Sukhasana. So you're going to cross at your shins and just sit into a cross-legged position. Just notice which leg you have in front. And bring the knees so that they're straight out from your hips. Feel free to move the feet forward away from your hips. And then take a moment and roll your inner thighs up towards the ceiling. So you're actually rolling outer thighs down. So again, roll inner thighs up towards the sky. And then take your straight arms to your knees. And just as you push your knees gently forward, not even down, just forward away from you, see if you can't lift and elevate your hips a little taller to the sky. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Feel the head lengthen up away from the sit bones. And as you take a moment to just feel your body get still, can you observe a sense of your right thigh and your left thigh? And notice if you're even right to left on your sit bones. As you give a little wiggle through the toes, anchor into those heels, could you get a little taller as you breathe in? And keep that length you create as you exhale, slow. And again, as you inhale, breathe in, feel the breath fill, and like it's filling up your cup of energy. And then you keep all of that as you gently exhale. And then one more like that, inhale, as if you were, again, filling from the base. Let your breath fill and widen your spine. Keep the lift you just created as you exhale, gently let it go out the mouth. And then just pitch forward, come onto your fingertips. I want you to still anchor into those thighs. While you stay here with your straight arms, can you inhale, lift your chest again, and then walk your hands just halfway forwards. And as you walk your hands halfway forward, push your thighs back, feel the inner thighs releasing, and then lengthen your collarbones, lengthen your chest forward. So finding that length through the spine, and then slowly, one by one, you'll walk your hands forward. But I'd love you to try to keep your spine evenly long front and back. So rather than just rounding and collapsing, reach the chest through towards the fingertips, push the hips back, feel the release of the outer thighs. And then maybe you walk your hands a little further forward. It's like your body tells you, okay, I understand the sensation, and maybe I can take it a little further. And maybe for today, it's actually where you're gonna end. Take another full breath. And then gently come all the way up. Again, notice which leg you have in front. Straighten the legs for just a moment. Maybe flex the feet, wiggle the toes, and then switch the cross of the legs. And again, bring the knees towards one another, your feet away from your hips. And then as you come forward onto your fingertips, take a moment to pause. Your spine is long and straight. Push the outer hips down, reach the chest up towards the sky. Keep your spine long as if it's lifting and filling, and start to walk your hands forward. And as you start to walk your hands forward, you'll feel a moment where your hips follow. Can you pause there, push your hands into the floor, send your hips back towards the earth, and then use the breath to lengthen the front spine forward. And then just start to maybe inch your hands a little further forward. So the side body is continuing to move away from the foundation of the legs. Soften the jaw, maybe drop your head. And then inhale, come all the way up. Go ahead and straighten out your legs, you guys. And take a moment here as you flex through the feet. Again, spread the toes. Bring your hands back behind you, bend your elbows a lot, and then pop your chest forward towards your toe tips. And if it's better to come onto your fingertips to find that lift through the chest, do that. Move the elbows back, move the shoulders back, and keep lifting your chest up. And if you want, you can stay here. You can bend your knees and lift your hips to reverse the table. Whichever variation you've chosen, try to put more weight into your legs. And rather than leaning into the hands, pull your chest up towards the sky. Open up the collarbones, take another full breath in. Keep your chest open, you guys. Exhale, if your hips are up, lower the hips down. And then we're just gonna do one more thing. So you're gonna bring your right knee forward of your right hip. And you're gonna bring your left foot to kind of support that right knee. So make sure the right knee hasn't gone off to the side, but straight forward from your right hip is your right knee. So it's almost like a Virasana leg. Shizoi, bring the right leg forward more. So notice my right knee is not off to the side, but just straight forward of the hip. And then all we're gonna do is walk towards the left leg, and then start to walk your hands back towards the back of your mat. That's it. Yeah, so go towards the left leg, and then just keep walking yourself around. It's totally made up. How does it feel? And notice if the weight's more in one hand or the other. I want you to try to shift into your right hand. Pull your chest forward. And then try walking your right hand forward. And some of you guys might come onto your elbows. Ash, probably you. Notice if the weight is even though. So I want you to really try to keep the weight even. And some of you guys will start to walk more so that your hands are in the center of the mat. And then wherever you are, can you coil your chest forward and feel the reach of that right hip and right knee move back? So just lengthen through the right side of the waist. Tom, keep turning. And then slowly unravel. All you're gonna do is bring your knees up. You'll drop that left knee. So again, left knee is in line with left hip. And then just place your right foot in front of that left knee, almost like as a space holder. And then you're just gonna start to walk your left hand around to meet your right knee. Your hands will start to walk towards the back of the mat. And you'll start to walk your hands forward. And just observe how this side feels different than the other. Try to put more weight into the right arm. Try to shift more weight into the right arm. And then try walking your left hand a little further forward away from you. Lift up through the left side of the waist as you roll the right ribs down. Just one more breath. Beautiful. And then slowly unravel. And then swing your legs around. Come onto your hands and knees. And a couple rounds of cat-cow. So as we inhale, open up the chest. And as we exhale, press down and round. But in just a couple like that, inhale. We'll just do about 2 or 3 more. And exhaling. Good. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let's do one more, you guys. Try to straighten your arms. Shoulders back, Tom. And exhaling. Beautiful, you guys. Come into a neutral spine, flat back position. Lift the sides of your waist up. Let your arms get straight. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees an inch off the floor. As you lift your knees an inch off the floor like you had a block between your ankles and your shins, beautiful. Feel the hugging and then allow the inner thighs to lift a little higher towards the ceiling. Let your legs pull you back to downward facing dog. And then take a moment, wiggle, widget, fidget, waggle. Just kind of check in. Maybe you need to pedal the feet. Maybe you need to swivel the hips. And then go ahead and come into stillness. Stillness is a way that you're still allowing the breath to create length, to create space. And then wherever you are, you guys, put a little bend into your knees. See if you can't push your hips further back over your heels. And then as you do that, as if I was taking my hands and just giving you that sweet adjustment, push your hips way back. Beautiful. And then keep that and lift the bottom ribs and the sides of the waist up. Make downward dog truly your first standing pose. Stand into those legs. And then walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet. Feel free to take your feet as wide as you need to. Let's interlace the fingers behind your back today, or grab a strap or hook your thumbs. And then with a soft bend into the knees, feel the spine drop as the arms lift. And then let your head drop a little bit more. And soften the jaw. And then relace the other pinky on top or switch the hook of the thumbs. Bend your right knee a lot and just roll over look towards the left. And as you kind of let your right waist rest on your right thigh, can you roll your left shoulder open a little bit more? Good, and then come back to center, bend both knees a lot, and then switch. So keep your left knee super bent, maybe straighten your right leg, but roll the right chest open. Feel the back of the head release. And then come back to center. Release both arms to the floor. Let your shoulders drop into your ears. Inhale, come up halfway. Walk it forward to your downward facing dog as you exhale. And slide forward into your plank pose as you inhale. As you press down into the hands, feel the bottom ribs lift a little taller. Shift forward, lower all the way down to the floor. Take your hands wider than your mat, come onto your fingertips, and then press into your feet. Inhale, coil the chest and lengthen to lift. And then try to keep your elbows reaching back. Exhale, lower back down. We'll just do like 2 more like that. Feel your feet press, your hands press. Inhale, reach. Press into the hands. Also try to pull your hands back. And exhale, lower. Good. And then 1 more. Hands press, feet press. Inhaling. Pause here, you guys. Try walking your hands back so the wrists are more underneath the elbows. And then as you lift up, go ahead and turn your head towards the right and pull that left shoulder back, that left elbow back. And then come back to center. And as you look over towards the left, pull the right arm back, pull the right shoulder blade into the chest. And then come back to center and lower all the way down. Good. Walk your hands in so your wrists are under the elbows. And then inhale into upward facing dog or baby cobra, your choice. Come into plank pose. Feel the lift of the sides of the waist. And downward facing dog, exhale. Let the arms firm at the base of the wrists. Let the shoulders spread and let those triceps hug in towards the armpit. So there's a sense of containing upper body, containing outer body. And then go ahead and walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. Use the inhale, lengthen the chest forward, a little bit of that opening across the front chest. Fold again, exhale. And again, inhale, Ardha. Shoulders stay on the back body. Keep that as you fold, exhale. Hands to your hips, bend into your knees. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale at the top. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Just take a moment as you gently press the palms to touch. Feel the weight of the elbows. And almost as if the weight of the shoulders are anchoring your elbows down. And as you ground into your roots, feel the lift of the spine, the back of the skull rise. Take a big full breath into the nose. Release your arms by your sides as you exhale. Inhale, arms reach up. Hinge at the hips, fold forward, exhaling. Use the inhale, open. Plant your hands, step to your plank. Exhale, we shift forward to lower. Baby cobra or the up dog. Can you push into your hands and also pull back at the same time? And downward facing dog, exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. And feel the back of the neck lengthen, even as the collarbones spread. And from time to time, remind downward dog to send the work into the legs, to lift the inner thighs a little higher. With the arms straight, take a big inhale. As you bend your knees, look forward. Choose to either step or hop to the top. We open as we inhale, and then we fold as we exhale. Feel the firmness of the legs as you rise it all the way up. And bring it right into your heart. Exhale. Again, together. Inhale, ground down, rise. Hinge and fold, exhaling. Lengthen to inhale. Step to plank, opposite leg. Exhale, shift forward, we lower. Feel the feet press as you inhale into your back bend. Shoulder heads way back. And downward facing dog, exhale. Beautiful, you guys. Take a full breath here. Shift forward into your plank pose. So we're gonna keep the upper body in plank. As you press down with those straight arms, lift bottom ribs. And against that, try to drag your hands towards your feet here. With your feet hip distance apart, swivel your heels over towards the right. So I want you to just stagger your feet side to side. Can you drive your right shoulder back a little bit more and open up the front chest? And then either stay here or reach the left arm towards the sky for a staggered Vashisthasana. And check in with that bottom shoulder blade. Try to drive the right shoulder blade back towards your feet and then roll your left chest all the way up to the fingertips. Now lift the top arm higher, spin it in the socket and reach it forward to the front of the room. There's a sense of ribs moving to the back body and pelvis moving forward to the wall you're facing. Inhale, bring the top arm up. You're gonna rest your top hand on your side body. And then inhale, rise up onto your toes. Go ahead and come into a one-arm plank pose. Extend your left arm forward in space. One breath. Plant the left hand down. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Very nice, you guys. Shift forward into plank as you inhale. Notice when you shift forward how the shoulders arrive. Keep the shoulders on the back body. Swivel your heels towards the left. Two hands to the floor. Rework the left shoulder moving back and then start to lift your left ribs up a little higher. That's what's going to help you take it into the Vashisthasana variation. And as you reach the right arm up towards the sky, can you check back in with that left shoulder blade? There's a sense of sphinx. Left collarbone moving forward. Gather the ribs in. Yes, Ashika, that was perfect. Gather the ribs in a little bit more, you guys. And then as the top arm reaches, touch the ceiling and carry it all the way forward in front of you. Feel the support, lean into the back body. Nice, Anne. Inhale, bring the top arm up. This time you're just gonna rest it on your right side waist. Lift up out of that left arm as you spin onto the toes of both feet. Take a moment here. Press more into your 2 feet, especially your left one, and extend the right arm forward in space. Go for length, get long. Nice T. 2 hands to the floor, downward facing dog, exhale. Beautiful, you guys. Big full breath in. As you bend your knees, look between your hands, step or hop to the top of the mat. We open as we inhale. We fold as we exhale. Heel toe your feet so they're hip distance apart. Go ahead and just walk your hands forward. Try to keep your knees right over your ankles and then send your hips down so that your thighs are parallel to the floor. Push your knees back, push your hips back, and then reach both arms forward in space. Drive into the inner heels, the big toes. Pull your inner thighs back a little bit more. And then stay this low with your legs and inhale, lift your torso up right into chair. Lift the pelvis, scoop the low belly, reach up through the fingertips. Can you sit back a little bit more? One more breath in. Press all the way up to stand and bring it into your heart. Exhale. So we're just gonna come into simple tree pose. So bring the right leg up. And then push your right foot into your left leg, and more specifically, hug the left leg into your right foot. And then take your right arm, your right elbow, and just kind of rest your right elbow on the top of the right thigh. Reach your left arm up towards the sky. And then take that left arm as far over to the right knee as you would like. Feel that sweet stretch to the left side of your waist. Use your right elbow to drop the right thigh down, and then can you hug and lift your left hip up? Feel the connection from your standing inner heel all the way to your fingertips. One more breath, and then inhale, come all the way back up. Straighten your right leg, release the foot to the floor, and we'll do the second side. So as the left leg comes up, take a moment, feel your balance. Notice how the weight shifts to the outer edge of your standing foot. Can you press into the inner heel? And then you'll slowly start to let your left elbow drop to your left thigh. Push it down as you reach your right arm up. And then start to take the right arm, right arm over to your left knee. And then as you press more into your inner heel of your standing foot, lift up through the standing hip, all the way through the fingertips. Feel that release to the side body. Take it a little bit further. Who cares if you fall? And then inhale, come all the way back up. Release, top of the mat, Tadasana. Inhale, bending your knees, touch the floor, Utkatasana. Hands to the earth as you fold, exhale. Inhalation is your Ardha. Hands fully flat, step or jump, Chaturanga. Use the inhale to open into your back bend, shoulder heads back. And downward facing dog, exhale. Let's lift the right leg up as you inhale. Feel free to open up your hips, bend your knee, take a moment to just stretch through the right side of the body. Square it off to center. Straighten your right leg. Lower your right foot so it hovers just beside your left foot. Shift forward into your three-legged plank pose. Shoulders on the back. Try to drag your hands towards your feet. Rotate your right leg open towards the right. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Check in with that left shoulder again. Can you pull your left shoulder back? Find the reach through your left heel, all the way through your left hip. Coil the chest forward. Bring your right knee in to touch your nose. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Take a moment, lower the back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Right hand to your left wrist. Lift up, side stretch over towards the right. Press into your front foot. There's a feeling of pulling your front knee, front thigh back. And just like in that side stretch we just did with the tree, can you lift up to the left hip, create a little bit more side body length. Inhale, come all the way back up. Hands to the floor. Lift your back knee up off the mat. Let's take it into the twist, you guys. Right arm towards the sky. And then again, check in with that bottom shoulder. Still pulling the bottom shoulder blade down towards your standing leg. And then lengthen through the left side of the waist as you roll your top arm up a little higher. Lean on to the power of that left shoulder blade. Take another full breath. Both hands to the floor. Step to your plank. However you want to get to downward facing dog as your exhale. Left leg, it lifts as you inhale. Open up your hips, bend your knee, and then check in with that right thigh. Pull your right outer thigh back. Reach the inner right heel down. Try to straighten the arms, especially the left one, Janine. Square everything off to center. Straighten that left leg, and then slowly lower your left foot. Let it hover just beside your right. Slide forward into your three-legged plank pose. Press down into your right foot as you rotate left leg open, and then bring that left knee to your left armpit. And then check in with your right shoulder. Drive right shoulder onto the back body. Bring your left knee to center. Lift a little higher. Step the foot forward. We'll lower the back knee down. Use the inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. And then it's your left hand to your right wrist. Lift the pelvis, scoop the low belly, side stretch over towards the left. And there is a sense that your hips are moving forward, but your thighs are trying to pull back. Inhale, come all the way back up. Hands down to the floor. Lift your back knee up off the mat. And then let's take it into the twist. So all of that length you just found on the right, can you feel it here? Can you reach to the right heel? Can you lengthen through the right side of the waist and still find that right shoulder and move it onto the back body? Lean onto the power of that straight arm and lift higher through the top fingertips. Beautiful, you guys. One more inhale. Release both hands down to the floor. Step to your plank. However you want to get to downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Adjust your feet right to left so you have a better stance. And then inhale, rise it up to crescent pose. Good. And then work your back leg as much as you can to lift the heel upright. So you're moving your back heel forward. And then start to lift your back leg a little bit straighter. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. Both legs are coming towards one another. Feel the zippering through the ankles. Feel the lift through the inner thighs. Reach up as you inhale, and then you're going to twist towards the right as you exhale. And then rework your back heel, lifting a little bit higher. Can you firm your back inner knee like you're lifting it towards the sky? I want you to keep the lift through the left hip, left side waist, and then bend your front leg into a twisting crescent pose. Work your back leg again, heel lifting, inner back knee firming. Work the left hip point, lifting up towards the collarbones. And then exhale, reach through the right fingertips, right shoulder a little bit more. Beautiful, you guys. Bring your right arm forward to meet your left arm. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release, hands down to the mat. Stay here. Spin your back heel to the floor. Rise it up to warrior one. We'll be here for 5 breaths. So it's the same work you just found in the crescent with the back leg. Make your back leg firm like Tadasana. Keep pressing the back heel down into the floor, lifting through the inner thighs, reaching from the left hip all the way to the right fingertips. One more breath, arms straight, maybe you look up. And release, hands to the mat, step to your plank, however you want to get to dog. And take a breath in dog, spread the shoulders, relax the back of the neck. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Adjust the feet as you need to. Rise it up to your crescent pose. Front foot, drive the heel down rather than pushing the foot forward. I want you to try to pull the front leg back. That's going to give you access to your back leg. Start to lift the heel up. Start to firm and lift your inner back knee, back leg higher. And then as you start to straighten your back leg, can you then straighten your front leg? Feel both legs suck into the midline. Let the reach of the arms literally carry the lift of your spine. Hug from the ankles, ground into the inner heel of your front foot, and then open towards the left as you twist. Hugging left leg in, lifting through the right hip, lift up through the right side of the waist. Find that connection from the back heel through the back knee. Beautiful. All the way out through the left fingertips. Spread the shoulders wide. And it's not so much right arm reach, and lengthen more with your left arm. Pull back with your left arm. Beautiful. And then keep the reach through your left arm as you bend your left knee into the twisting crescent. Many of you guys pull back more with the back arm versus reaching forward. That includes you, Kent. And then swing your left arm forward to meet your right. All the way up towards the sky. Release your hands down to the mat. Stay here. Spin your back heel to the floor and then rise it up to your warrior one for 5 breaths. And again, the more that we can pull the front leg deep into the hip socket, the more access we have of pressing the back leg strong and straight. Even if it tips the pelvis and the spine forward, still lift through the hip points and carry from your right heel all the way up to the fingertips. Find that line. Sit a little lower into the front leg if you can, and then let the chest lift up to reach the fingers higher. Beautiful. And release. Hands to the mat. Chest stays open as you step to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Lift the inner thighs. And downward facing dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Feel the hugging of the outer ankles, the lift through the inner thighs. Inhale, right leg lifts towards the sky. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Spin the back heel down, rise to your warrior one. And then open it up to your warrior two. And so adjust the feet as you need to. But again, focus more today on the back leg. Even if it means that you spin your back heel further away from the toes, so it's more that the toes are rolling in, I want you to find a sense of release to the inner back leg. Letting that left hip release, and then inhale, lift up through the sides of the waist. Shift forward, right hand to the inside, right forearm to the right thigh, top arm straight up towards the sky. And sometimes we need to actually hop the back foot in more so that you can keep the front knee over your front ankle. As you hug the right knee into your right arm, can you check back in with the right shoulder, drive it onto the back? And then lift the pelvis away from the legs, roll the belly up towards the sky. Use your right shoulder, roll the chest to the sky. And then some of you guys are going to bring that top arm behind you and come into a half wrap. Wherever you are, can you continue to push your right thigh towards the wall you're facing, almost down and then towards the wall you're facing. So it feels like your right hip point is lifting a little higher. And then your two legs, pull them towards your back leg so you can lengthen your chest forward. Roll the belly up, you have 2 more breaths. Roll the ribs up, lean back onto the power of the right shoulder. Reach the top arm up towards the sky as you inhale. Swing the arm forward to the front of the room as you exhale. And then everybody slide your right forearm to your right thigh. So you're in a modified extended side angle. Can you work to lift your right hip, but then can you feel your left ribs dropping so your left obliques are lengthening your right waist? If this is enough, stay here. These look gorgeous, you guys. Or bring your right arm to meet your left. Legs pulling back to your left foot, arms reaching forward towards the fingertips. Stay low in your front leg as you rise it all the way up to your warrior 2. Soften the shoulders, relax the neck. Reverse the warrior as you inhale. Sit a little lower into the front leg. Feel the strength of the back leg. And then release, hands down to the floor. Stay here as you spin onto the toes of the back foot. Let's lower the back knee down. And then take a moment, reach back with your right hand and grab a hold of your left foot. Check in with that back shoulder. Pull the left shoulder onto the back body. Could you bend your right arm? Pull the right elbow back so you're still opening up the chest. And some of you guys will stay here. Some of you will come onto your left forearm. We'll just be here for another couple breaths. And even if you turn your right foot open and the knee turns open, can you still keep the foundation in your front foot, front heel? Yeah, Danny, that was it. Pull the front thigh deeper into the hip socket. Release the foot with control. You guys, 2 hands to the floor. Take a moment here as you lift your back knee up and then walk your right hand inside your right foot. Walk the right foot as wide as you need to so your 2 hands are under your shoulders in plank. Lift your back leg higher. With your right knee glued into your right armpit, bring your right foot to your right sit bone. Stay here, step back to plank or bend your elbows, chaturanga. Maybe the left leg floats off the floor. Maybe you step back. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Very nice, Chris. Beautiful, you guys. Big full breath in. Long breath out. Spread the shoulders, lift up through the chest. That's it. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Back heel spins as you rise on the inhalation to warrior 1. And then open it up to your warrior 2. Try to drive more weight into your back heel, pulling your left thigh back so that you have the foundation of your back leg already. And then shift forward, left hand's gonna go to the inside, top arm to the sky. And then again, adjust it. You might need to hop the back foot in a small amount. Keep your front knee tracking over that front ankle, but drive the weight into your right foot. So if we were to make this a standing pose, you could stand into your back foot and hover your front foot off the floor. We won't do that today, but that's a possibility. We have time. And then use the knee into the arm into the knee. Push your left thigh towards the wall you're facing to open the chest. And that looks beautiful. Then bring the top arm behind you, you guys. Come into your half wrap variation. And just notice if you're resting on your left leg. Rather, continue to drive the tailbone down, the sit bones down, and lift the low belly and pelvis upright. Deepen the twist. With that right arm, feel the right shoulder roll the collarbones to the sky. Sit a little lower into the front leg if you can. Beautiful, you guys. Top arm up towards the ceiling. Spin the arm in the socket, reach it forward. When you do that, do you feel how your left thigh pulls to your right foot? And then slide your left forearm to meet your left thigh. Lift up off of that left thigh. Anchor your left tailbone down a little bit more so there's a sense of scooping the frontal hip points. And then stand into your back foot as you bring your left arm to meet your right. Get longer through the left side of the waist. Anchor the left tailbone down, and then rise it all the way up to your warrior two. Soften the shoulders, lift to the side body. Stamp your front heel into the floor as you reverse the warrior. Inhale. Stretch through the left side of the waist. Yawn it open. And then release. Hands down to the mat. Spin onto the toes of the back foot. We'll pause here as we lower the back knee down. Reach back with your left hand and grab a hold of the right foot. Yeah, feel it. Yawn it out. Does it feel like there's been more sitting in the past 2 weeks than normal? Wherever you are, stay with the twist. So put a bend into that top arm and try to pull that left elbow back so the collarbone stack. Nice, Tom. Release your left hand down towards the inside of your left leg. Right foot to the mat, and then just walk your left foot outside your left hand. Make sure your two hands are in plank. Glue your left knee in, lift your back leg up off the floor. Yeah. And then all you're going to do is bring your left heel to your left sit bone. Feel this. This might be enough. Shoulders stay on the back body. Maybe you bend your elbows, chaturanga the arms. Shoulders up off the floor, Ash. Yes. And find your way to downward facing dog. Dana, watch that right shoulder. Full breath in. Long breath out. Beautiful, you guys. Rise high up onto your toes as you bend your knees, look between your hands, step or hop to the top of the mat. We open as we inhale and fold as we exhale. Heel to your feet so they're more hip distance apart. Peace fingers to your big toes. Straighten your arms. Shift forward so you feel the weight more in the front of your heels. And then exhale, fold. Lift the shoulders up and bend your knees a little bit more. Yeah. And lengthen the front of your spine towards the toe tips. Lift the shoulders up as you do so. Inhale, straighten your arms. Padahastasana, step on your hands. And as you push the feet into the hands, lift the arms as you exhale, fold. Wiggle those toes to your wrists like you're massaging. And then firm and lift the forearms up. Beautiful. Inhale is your Ardha. Same time, hands to hips. Put a bend into your knees and inhale, come all the way up. Exhale at the top. Inhale, arms reach towards the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. Come onto your fingertips, reach the chest forward. If you have blocks, use blocks. Extend your left leg back so you're in a modified warrior three. Bend your standing leg and keep the weight reaching back. So I want you to hinge more from your hips. And then take a moment, hug your right leg in. Can you bring your left hand to your hip? As you bring your left hand to your hip, I want you to still hug your right leg towards the left. And then keep pushing your right hip to the left, open it up to half moon from here. Beautiful work. Keep the bend into your standing knee. Keep hinging your outer right thigh towards your left heel, so you're in half moon. Can you ground more into the inner heel, big toe of your right foot? And then some of you guys are going to stay right here. You can do the Chapasana variation, Reach back and grab a hold of the left foot. As you kick the left leg back, can you lift up through the right hip, the right waist? Can you continue to pull the right thigh bone underneath you and lengthen through the side waist? Release the foot with control. Take a full inhale. Slowly step back to your triangle pose. There's nothing like a Saturday morning Trikonasana. Make it as long as you'd like, but I want you to focus also on your back leg. Let the heel spin back a little bit more. Top arm reaches up, reach the top arm forward. And as you lengthen through the entire left side of the body, all the way through the left fingertips, can you take a moment and roll the right ribs up? Inhale, come all the way back up. Bend your front leg back to your warrior two. Beautiful. Reverse the warrior as we inhale. And then release. Hands down to the mat. Spin onto the toes of the back foot. Pause here. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. Inhale is your ardor. You're at the top of the mat. Exhale, we fold. Good. Inhale, come up halfway again. Heel to your feet so they're hip distance apart. And then bend your left knee, extend your right leg back. Modified warrior three with your two hands on the floor or blocks. Bend your standing leg so you can hinge your pelvis back. Hinge so far back that I move off stage. Yes. And then push the left thigh into the right side of the room. I mean this when I say it. Bring your right hand to your hip. Can you still stay in warrior three? Lift your left hip up off your left thigh. And then from the left leg pushing open, open up to half moon. Beautiful, you guys. Whatever you do with your bottom hand is up to you. But maintain the integrity of the foundation, the standing leg, inner knee tracking forward, outer left thigh wrapping in. Find the center and pull the chest forward. Then maybe you add the lifted leg and bend it. If you're bending the lifted knee, feel that the knee is just as low as the pelvis. So you're lifting the left hip, left waist up. Beautiful, you guys. Do this as a way to open up the front body. Yeah, kicking back so far that you fall over is no problem. As long as you can continue to hug your left leg in. Release the foot with control. As you bend your standing leg more, slowly find your Trikonasana. 2 feet on the ground. Wrap the left thigh towards the right foot. Ground into that left big toe, inner heel. As the top arm reaches higher, spin the arm and extend it forward to the front of the room. Notice when you do that, do you get short on the left side of the waist? Lengthen left ribs forward as well. Inhale, come all the way back upright. Bend your front leg back to your warrior two. Press into your back leg as you reverse the warrior, inhaling. Release hands to the mat, spin onto the toes of the back foot, look forward, step to the top of the mat. Inhale it, we lengthen. And exhale, we fold. Hands fully flat to the floor, rise up onto your toes, come into a little toe squat. And if you can bring your ankles together, do that. And then maybe you take your hands to your knees. Very similar to how we began practice, arms are straight. Push the knees not down, but forward away from you. And with your knees reaching forward, can you feel how the heels lift up to your sit bones and the frontal hip points lift the low belly? Then climb the spine a little taller. Take another full breath. Take your knees wide, hands down. Let's take a moment here and just let your elbows lower to the floor. And that may or may not work for some. It's just a matter of the shape of our bones. Even if your elbows aren't on the floor, feel the shoulders spreading. Feel the weight of the elbows anchoring. Squeeze your knees into your armpits. Walk your hands back. And either stay here or move into Bakasana, and however you'd like to get to downward facing dog. And then from downward dog, beautiful, you guys. Take a big inhale and a long exhale. Rise high up onto your toes again. Bend your knees, look forward, spring to the top. We open as we inhale and fold as we exhale. Again, heel toe your feet so they're hip distance apart. Come into your chair pose, bending the knees. Press all the way up to stand and bring it into your heart. Let's cross the right ankle over your left thigh. And with your hands at your hips, recommit to your standing leg. Inner heel, big toe. Notice when you do that how the left thigh hugs in more. Feel the release of your right knee, like you had your hand just anchoring it to the floor. That stretch and opening through the right side of the waist. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hinge back and sit into your chair. Use your eyes. Where's the foundation of your front foot? Drive it into the inner heel. Pull the inner thighs back. And as you hug your left leg towards the right, you can access pulling your right thigh deeper back. You can stay here, you guys. You can put your hands to the floor. You can play with the arm balance. Wrap the toes around your left tricep. Two shoulders on the back body, collarbones open, whichever variation you're in. Those of you that are flying, take the vinyasa. When you get to the top, those of you that are still in this delicious stretch, push right foot into left leg. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Top of the mat, release your arms by your side and just check in. Notice how your breath feels. And then second side, we'll cross the left ankle over the right. Notice if you hung out in that right hip, hug standing leg in. And as you flex through that lifted leg, anchor the knee down to the floor. So you feel a sense of release through the front of your hip. As you sit down into your chair, pull the right thigh towards the left. I think sometimes staying in this is a little bit harder than moving into the arm balance. It doesn't matter which one you're doing. Just notice, can you observe if you're just rushing towards the next step? But find the integrity. Pull your left thigh deeper into the hip socket and then carry on. If you did the arm balance, if you brought your hands to the floor. And this time we'll all meet up in downward dog. So whether you're flying, you'll take the vinyasa, or you'll come up to standing. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Take a big full breath in and a long breath out. And then everybody go ahead and inhale, extend your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step the right foot forward between your hands. You're gonna lower your left knee down to the mat. Take a moment here. And then you'll lift your right foot up so that your right shin goes to the floor. You're gonna bring your right foot to your left knee. And then curl your back toes under and walk your back knee back. So we're setting up for upright pigeon. Right shin pushes to the floor. Right thigh pulls way back. And then bring your two hands to your hip point. So I want you to be as upright as you possibly can. And rather than resting on your hips, notice if you can use your fingers and lift your pelvis up. Drive the right shin down and continue to lift the frontal hip points as high to the sky as you can. Front leg, pull the thigh bone back. Left hip, wrap the outer left thigh forward. Reach your arms forward, hook your thumbs, and carry those straight arms all the way up towards the sky. So this is very similar to what we did in the beginning. Pull right thigh bone back, and then press the feet into the floor to lift the pelvis a little bit higher. Good, and then as you reach the arms up, maybe you start to lift the gaze and the collarbones up. Roll left chest forward, almost everybody. One more breath. And then release, hands down to the floor. Step to your plank. I know you want single pigeon, we'll give it to you in a second. We have to do the other side. You could actually stay in single pigeon and I would never know. And downward facing dog. Left leg, it lifts as you inhale. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. You'll lower your right knee down, and then all you're gonna do is lift the left foot up, bring the left foot to your right shin. Notice this is very similar to the pose we did in the beginning. So your left shin's down on the floor. Curl your back toes under, walk your back knee back, and then walk your hands back. So rather than sinking into your hips, use the strength of your legs to lift up. Left leg is active, left thigh is pulling into the hip socket. Start to roll your right chest forward more. And then add the arms, reach them forward, hook the thumbs, and the lift of the arms lifts the ribs. The ribs lift the low belly. The low belly lifts the pelvis. And there is a little bit of a twist here. Roll the left ribs forward, right ribs forward. And then maybe those arms start to lift a little higher, the collarbones fed by the lift of the chest. And then exhale, release, hands down, step to your plank. Come onto your forearms. Choose to interlace your fingers or keep your hands parallel. And we'll be here in forearm plank. Push your wrists down if your hands are interlaced. Push the inner wrist down if your palms are flat. And then walk your feet back so your shoulders are nowhere over your elbows. And as you press your feet into the floor and you push your hands into the floor, can you look forward? And as you look forward, can you try to pull your elbows towards your feet? A little bit more. One more breath. Then lower it all the way down into Sphinx pose. Press into your hands, pull the shoulders onto the back body, lift your collarbones. Feel the release of the lumbar spine evenly lengthening forward. If this is too much on your low back, use the foundation of your feet and your pubic bone to press into the floor. Walk your hands back, upward facing dog. Let's be here for 5 breaths. So as you move into your up dog, put a little bend into your elbows. Pull your elbows and your shoulders back. Let your chest blossom. I can't believe I just said that. Reach forward in front of the arms. And then as if someone was pulling your legs, reach your feet back a little bit more. One more breath and lean the chest up. Yes. Come to plank, everybody. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Okay, your choice. You can either hop through and come onto your back and do thread the needle. You can do double pigeon, or I'm going to give you that time for that single pigeon that I didn't give you before. So some sort of hip opener that works for you today. That could even be Gomukhasana on your back. Relax the shoulders. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time to just feel the softening of the outer body. Ashika, try moving your top foot forward and put it on a block in front of your bottom knee. How's that? And go ahead and slowly find your way over to your second side. And you guys, if something doesn't feel right, I don't know, if you just have a question, like you're not sure about the knee or the low back, then try a different variation. There's just so many ways that we can support our body. It doesn't have to look one way. And I think that changes also day to day, time to time. And then you guys, your choice. You can either stay on your back, reach the legs to the sky, or you can fold forward into Paschimottanasana. Those of you on your backs, reach up through your inner heels. Yeah, try to pull your pinky toes down a little bit more. When you're ready, gently roll onto your backs. Let's take a final twist together. So as you come onto your back, feel free to hug your knees into your chest. And your favorite twist. So if the low back is a little tender, place a block between your thighs or a rolled up blanket or anything. And just let your knees drop to one side. You can cross the legs or not. You can do the wide-legged variation. Take a full breath here. Give it a long exhale out the mouth. Use your exhale, come back to center, and switch over to the other side. And you can feel that the body, the breath, is starting to set up for Shavasana. Let that happen. Let go of the effort. And as you're ready, use your exhale to come back to center. Set yourself up for Shavasana. Let your legs extend out. Let your arms tether away. Soften the jaw, and as you lay back, give a little reach of those heels away from you. Let the arms move away from the side body. And then give yourself one full, final, big breath. Let your entire being fill up. Exhale, let it go, and just let the body sink into the support of the earth. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. When you're ready, start to create a little bit more fullness through your breath. Place your hands over your front body as you wiggle the toes. Bend your knees and gently roll yourself over to one side. Press yourself up to a seated position. And as you sit up tall, just taking a moment to feel the effects of this practice. Linger in it. Lean into it. And bringing the hands together in front of the heart. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our homes. And may there be peace in this world. Namaste, everybody.